the legend himself, Philly.500, joins us now here. How you guys doing, man?
Man, I'm mad.
Listening to that nonsense.
I'm mad as hell, man. I tell you why, because you had to do the show the same time we finally get the introduction of Christian Parker. It's going on now. And you know what? He sounds just like Mike Tomlin. Have you heard him speak? Deep voice and everything else. I tell you what. You know what? I have to say thank you, Eagles, because I am seeing what I'm hearing from him. I definitely like what he's serving in the restaurant. When he says that, what kind of defense you're going to run, he said, I come from a Nick Fangio system that starts with the 3-4, but we also do a 4-3. We will do some 4-2s, and we will cater to the talent that we have on the field, which is, because you get some guys that they have a system, and we're going to do the system no matter if I don't have the players or not. He's recognizing I've got a few pieces here, and everything's going to start out from that defensive front. So I'm enjoying what I'm hearing from him.
Absolutely, and I'm watching him right now. This guy looks like Mike Tomlin.
He sounds like Mike Tomlin. I was like, wait a minute. Did we get Mike Tomlin?
He was just another nobody with the Eagles, and all of a sudden he goes to Dallas and he's Mike Tomlin.
No, Philly.
Get the frig out of here.
The Cowboys hired him. You were doing the Philly shake.
I'm not trashing him. I think he's a great young coach. I like the guy. But come on, you were like, oh, well, who are we getting? Now he's Mike Tomlin, the great. Come on.
I'm just saying. I finally
let's see what he does.
Yeah,
I think he's.
How about if he brings? Guess what? Zander said this. He believes that Nakobe Dean's going to Dallas.
It's a fear that I have. Yeah, I could totally see that. Mm-hmm. And I think Cowboy fans are sleeping on Nakobe Dean a lot. I keep hearing it.
Oh, I've turned around because when you went off when you drafted Nakobe Dean. I will never forget you and what's his name going off. Oh my God, we got Nakobe Dean. But Nakobe, if he stays healthy, is a great player. I have to admit that
he is a great player. Oh, yeah, I
agree. Here's what I thought he was dog shit his first 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Vic came in with Bobby King after that when those guys were hired and brought him in. I got to tell you, man, I'm wrong on his ability. But what I'm not wrong on, Philly, this guy's missed 24, 51 ball games.
That's the problem.
That's been the issue. I mean, that's definitely the issue. But when he plays and he's healthy, he's a tone setter. I hate to see him go. I would love to find a way to keep him. I would actually try to make a play for him because how many more years do you expect Zach Bourne to be here? So if there's any way I could do it, right. So if there's any way I could do it and keep Bourne one more year, I would do it. But I don't think they're going to go that route. But I would love to. I hate to see him go to Dallas.
Mark, how much of an overhaul do you think the defense goes through? And do you think it really does look like the too high? And they look like the Fangio defense because, again, the Fangio defense, you got to have pressure. You got to have corners.
Mm-hmm.
And most notably, as Philly knows, bro, you got to have linebackers. If you don't have linebackers in the middle of the field covering that zone,
and here lies our problem.
You are not going to play that defense.
Well, here lies our problem because I know you say, hey, if the Cowboys just go out and get Max Crosby, the problem is we don't have a second, a third round pick. We've got those 2 number ones. If we end up spending it, and from what you're hearing, at least they want, you can always want anything, but what it'll actually end up being, but they're looking for a Micah Parsons type trade, and I can't see spending 2 number ones. We definitely need more help at linebacker. Even if we do get Nakobe Dean, you still are a little bit short. We've got to get edge rusher, and we've got to get safety, and we need another cornerback. Now, I think what the Cowboys are looking, and one of the battle cries for them have been they want guys that are teachers. They believe they have some really young, raw talent and guys like Overshown, like Savon Ravel, getting Deron Bland hopefully back up to where he was, that they can get addition of players just by getting guys that are actually playing better than what they did. And Araku, too.
Philly, has Nick Sirianni made coming to Philadelphia as a coach undesirable?
I don't know. I have no idea.
And here's why I'm asking. Not a loaded question to you, but here's why I'm asking you. You land on Parks Frazier, 33. You land on a coordinator who's 34. You land on a lot of these young guys who really, if you think about it, nobody would have hired for the positions that they filled. These aren't people that were your number one options. Were they on filling the offensive staff? Or maybe you think they were.
I don't know. I mean, I think they did their due diligence with like Mike McDaniel. I just think it worked out where I think he wanted to be out west. Look, he turned down the opportunity to be a head coach in Buffalo. So he just wanted to be where he wanted to be. I actually think that what they did when their top choice wasn't there actually was better than what I was afraid they were going to do. I like the idea of going young and taking a chance with somebody with a good mind, maybe a new vision for the offense, and not just the same old thing. I think if you hired like a Matt Nagy or somebody like that, I think it's basically just recycling the same thing. So I'm kind of excited to bring in a young guy, and I actually think it is a risk. I think it's high risk, high reward. I actually give Nick Sirianni credit for that because I think it takes kind of balls to kind of be in a situation where you're willing to take a chance with young coaches. So I actually give him credit for that.
Mark, it looks like now I'm going to ask you about the impact of Christian Parker here in a second, but according to Adam Schefter, looks like the two teams that may be fighting for Max Crosby are the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'll take your thoughts for well, that's Adam Schefter. It's not me saying that. You tell me first, and then I'll go to Philly on his takeaway on that.
First of all, let's be clear here. It's the off season. So how do you get people
We're
to
in
listen?
The land of liars.
Okay. Right. So of course you put Cowboys in and Eagles. I don't think Adam Schefter has gone to the Cowboys and Jerry said, we're all in on that guy and things like that. I'm going to say that that's kind of some bullshit. And for me, as great as Max Crosby is, let me ask you, how many playoff wins has he been part of?
0.
How about Myles Garrett?
I think 1.
TJ Watt.
1, 2.
Micah Parsons.
So we're counting
0.
Playoff wins now. Now they matter.
No. I'm just saying here is when you got that guy in the same way people talk about you can't pay a quarterback. The Cowboys have more needs than edge rusher. We had one of the best of the last few years with Micah Parsons. Basically, what you're saying is let's bring Micah Parsons back. That's a little bit older. If you look at the Seattle Seahawks, that's a complete defense. There's not really big superstars.
Every level.
It's every level. There's guys. Yeah, it'd be great to have a front seven, but I kept seeing 3rd and long every time completed down the field on these linebackers and cornerbacks. So I don't know about that. Now, for the Eagles, I'm going to say, how the hell do you give up a 3rd round pick in the middle of the season for Jalen Phillips? And I hear you can't afford to pay him, but you can afford to spend possibly 2 first-round picks and pay Max Crosby?
I'm not giving 2 runs for him.
That's what supposedly they're asking for 2 as well as an additional player. I mean,
bro, I'd rather sign Bradley Chubb for $12-13 million.
That would be my move there.
And hey, Philly, I'm not spending $23 million on Jalen Phillips. I'm just not. I mean, he's going to command that kind of money. I don't give a shit what people are saying. I know Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey who rep him. If you move on from him, don't you think there's a number, Philly? First, answer this. What'd you make of the Max Crosby that you guys?
I think it's very much real with the Eagles, very much real, and history over the course of the last 2 years proves it. Last offseason, they tried to trade for Myles Garrett. Then they almost pulled trade off for Micah Parsons. Then they tried to trade up multiple first-round picks to bring Myles Garrett in at the trade deadline. Obviously, this team wants an elite pass rusher. And if they don't think Jalen Phillips is this guy and they can make a play for Max Crosby, they're going to do it. Now, that doesn't mean all the money and everything's going to work out. But if you're going to tell me, do the Eagles have an interest in him? I think they will, because over the course of the last 2 years, they have been pursuing elite pass rushers. So why would it change now?
It wouldn't. Hey, the impact, and by the way, I'm also hearing and I'm watching a little bit too as we're all doing this. What do you think the impact Christian Parker has? And I'll ask Philly, what do you think the loss will be on the defensive side with him not being there? Or do you think because Vic's in tow that the defense will still be status quo? Because, again, they got great players back there in Cooper DeJean and also Quinyon Mitchell. The other CB2 is yet to be addressed. But first for you, Mark, what do you think the impact Parker makes?
You know, every move when you first make it is great. Nobody makes a move and says, oh, this is just the dumbest thing in the world. What I will say is I'm happy that Christian Parker, when he was hired, young guy, okay, doesn't have the experience of being the play caller and stuff, but a guy, as Brian Schottenheimer said, that's been working on this, getting here for the last 5 years, and definitely has sights on becoming a head coach. That he didn't just hire guys that he knows, his buddies. He's gone around and they've tried to get almost a world NFL view and even college view of different coaches and philosophies. So that way, hopefully it becomes a melting pot of different ideas of things that have worked, as well as relationships with players that may be elsewhere that you might look at and say, hey, we're getting the band together. You know, maybe let's look at the Cowboys. And so from that standpoint, I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. The first half of that press conference, hearing him speak, the way he's got no fear. He looks like a guy who's ready for, you know, the spotlight of the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what, Philly? And I think I'm not as pessimistic with you losing him, and I'll tell you why, and you tell me if you agree. Back in the day when Tony Dungy had that coaching staff in Tampa, you had Mike Tomlin on it. You had Raheem Morris. You had coaches all over that. Rod Marinelli. You had so many great coaches that were on that coaching staff. Monty Kiffin was on that staff. I think it's because you have Vic Fangio that, you know, you're going to have a seamless transition, I think, going from Christian Parker. Not saying he's not a great coach, because I think he is a really great candidate. People are all around the league were talking about him. But don't you have comfort in knowing that Vic Fangio is the guy who's going to replace him? He's going to elevate, and they did from within. You got to feel a little bit more comfortable because Vic's there.
Yeah, didn't they bring in the defensive back coach
from
the
did.
Buffalo Bills? Safety, and he's supposed to be. I heard good things about him so far. So I agree. I think because Vic is there, I think it won't be as big of an impact. And I think also having 2 years of Christian Parker to kind of, you know, build up and bring up Q and Cooper DeJean makes a big difference as well. So I think they'll be okay. You know, they need to address that corner position, but no, I think they'll be okay.
Let me ask you one move about the Cowboys and what they did, though, by getting Christian Parker. Christian Parker, how long was he there at Philly? And he was
2 years.
He was there 2 years in Philadelphia, right? With
so,
Vic,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who has the advantage in that? You think the Eagles have the advantage, or do you think the Cowboys now have the advantage on game planning?
I mean, it's a good question. I would say it's probably even. I would think that Vic knows what Christian Parker does and doesn't do well, and I think Christian Parker probably knows what Vic likes to do in certain situations.
I'm kind of saying more about the quarterback, Mark, about Jalen Hurts and how they went against practice, scrimmages.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I would definitely say he knows where the bodies are buried. And see, here's the other flip side of this.
You do agree they hired him to beat Philly?
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, here's the thing. You know, when you look at Vic Fangio, he's, 66?
67.
67. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. He's not coming out with a lot of new wrinkles and things like that. But what you're going to see is, yes, the pupil is now become the teacher here. He's going to come and develop his own defense. So you can't just blankly say, I know everything that he's going to do, especially with all of these different coaches that he's got from different locations. But I think the intel that he's going to have on the offense, not that the offense was that hard to stop in Philly, because the offense, I wouldn't worry about your defense. I think your defense is going to be fine. The question is what's going to happen with your offense?
Mark,
Parker doesn't know what the offense is going to look like exactly.
Nobody knows the guys.
He knows the players.
But those guys are very talented if you put them in the right position. So to me, it's how quickly can he adjust to what the Eagles offensively are doing, and how successful can the Eagles be on that offense? And to me, that's a question we'll just have to wait and see. But who knows?
Mark, if your defense finishes 11th,
Oh my God.
if your defense finishes 11th this year, you win the Super Bowl?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. We know shit that changes fast in the NFL. Minnesota was what, 13-3 the year
I
before?
just saw Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl.
And
If Sam Darnold can win, Dak can
Yeah.
win.
There's no guarantee that the Cowboys offense will be as good as it was this year. For all we know, the Cowboys could do some stupid shit and trade, George Pickens or franchise tag and piss the guy off, and he just says, fuck football. If the Cowboys offense is as good as it was last year and we've got a top 15 defense, if we don't make the divisional round, I got to turn in my Cowboys card.
Okay.
Divisional round, that's not really high expectations.
I'm just saying. Well, it is from where I'm sitting with the Cowboys.
That's like, to me, that's already admitting failure. You're admitting failure. You already know. You already know what's going to happen.
I said
they could have an 11th ranked defense, number one offense. They're going to lose in the playoffs.
Philly,
they're going to choke in the playoffs like
Philly,
they always
so wait a
do.
minute, Philly. Wait a minute. I got a question.
It's going to change.
So you don't wait a minute. So you don't believe quarterbacks can ever change the narrative?
Yeah, they can.
So wait a minute. Like when Matthew Stafford was 0-4 in Detroit, and he goes to a better organization, has better players on it, and he wins the Super Bowl, people said he could never win in the postseason, that he choked in the playoffs. Do you think he changed the narrative?
Yeah, of course he changed the narrative. And you could say John Elway changed the narrative. And you could say Sam Darnold changed the narrative. You can say all these guys changed the narrative.
But why not that?
For every guy that's changed the narrative, there are guys that haven't. And just because those guys did it, I can't give Dak Prescott credit for changing the narrative. He's got to do it first. Then I can give him credit. Can he do it? I don't know. That's the question. He has a chance, and as long as he's playing, it's there to be changed. But I don't believe he will.
Okay.
Mark, do you? I mean, all these other guys have shown you. I think Baker Mayfield has changed the narrative a bit. I mean, with what he's done, this guy was on 4 different ball teams too.
Yeah, this is true.
Sam Darnold has changed my opinion on how we look at quarterbacks. Bro, you could be 0-4, like he mentioned with John Elway. John Elway got smoked in Super Bowls. He got freaking smoked. He was 0-3.
But he made
They said he would. Yeah, but guess what? He was carried. He was a caboose in those 2 wins. Terrell Davis.
But he to lose a Super Bowl, you have to make a Super Bowl. You have to win somewhere in the playoffs. You have to win a championship game. You have to get to a championship game. We're talking about a guy that can't barely get out of the first round. Prove it. He's got to go prove it.
Okay. We know we're not going to get an equal play here. This is Dak sucks. Oh, it doesn't. There's
Wait a
nothing.
second. I'm in agreement with you. I agree with you, Mark.
Why am I supposed to give Dak credit for what other people have done?
Because what I'm saying is that I saw quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford. I brought this up to Mark. If that defense improves, and to Mark's point, what he just said, if that can't win in the playoffs and you got a top 12 defense, this is fucking it. This is it.
Time to give it up.
Then he should have been done a long time ago. He's already had a good defense in the playoffs and still lost.
Okay. That doesn't matter. Move on.
Prove it. Let him prove it. He's got to prove it.
If Vic Fangio leaves next year, wait, how many years do you think Fangio has in Philly?
1. I think this is it.
Okay. Do you think the defense implodes without Vic the following year?
It depends who the coach is. It depends who your coordinator is. I think that the defense has a ton of talent, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I think if you bring in a competent coach, competent defensive coordinator, I think they'll be fine. The defense has got a lot of talent, and they're establishing themselves, and they're pretty young. So I don't think it will implode. No.
Are they going to tag Pickens, in your opinion? Now, tag window opened, I believe,
yesterday at 4.
Yesterday? Okay. We're not going to see a Dallas Cowboys.
Until the 3rd. So here's the thing. They're not in a rut.
We're not going to see a Dallas Cowboy thing be stretched out until like the 23rd hour of this thing. And we're going to roll into this.
Here's what's happening with the situation. Okay. Now, again, the window opened up yesterday. It's open until the 3rd of March. Okay. You've got the combine that starts next week. You've actually got David Mulugheta, who's already saying he wants to get this thing going and done and over with. So the Cowboys, if the Cowboys had rushed to go ahead and do the franchise tag, that basically says we're not interested in negotiating. You're just going to say, we're just going to put the franchise tag and this is it. We're done for the year. This to me is a good sign that they haven't rushed to do this. And the longer it goes before they do, I think the better chances of them getting a deal. They can always at the last minute flip it on there. But I think they're trying to actually negotiate in good faith and say, hey, David Mulugheta, it's water under the dam. Let's go ahead and get this thing together and do George Pickens and not make the same mistake.
Hold on.
I have a question about Pickens. I have a question.
Go ahead.
All right. So what? And I'm asking because I don't know the whole story, but I see all this leak stuff coming out now about how Pickens was fined all these times, and they're bringing up all these situations with how he wasn't maybe the best teammate or whatever in Dallas last year. Is that negotiating or are they? Well,
supposedly, okay. So here's what happens.
I hadn't heard this. Way to go, Philly.
Hold on. In this day and age of AI and all that stuff, you got to be careful with what you actually see and you believe. The story supposedly came from Todd Archer. Todd Archer said, no, that's not me. So that came out. That went through the blogosphere and everything else on there. Now, I can go around and I can look and I can say, how about Stephon Diggs? Is Stephon Diggs better than George Pickens?
No.
Rashid Rice out there racing and wrecking a car. Is he worse than George Pickens?
DK Metcalf was the guy who got suspended.
AJ hitting the guy. How about AJ Brown reading the book on the sidelines? And here's the thing about wide receivers. The good ones, they're a little crazy. Look at Michael Irvin. Look at Chad Ochocinco. Look at T.O. He's done nothing worse than any of those guys.
I'm not disagreeing.
A guy who's got 1,400 yards as the number 2 wide receiver, I'll take that on my team over a Noah Brown that gets about 600 and is half the time flipping the ball up to the other team.
Hey, Mark, I'm going to tell you that agent, Jerry Jones, fucking hates that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Irvin has said it. He hates that guy.
Yeah, he does. But you know what?
He better be on his best
you got to use.
He better be on his best behavior. I'm telling you, Jerry is not. Jerry proved one thing to you last year. He will not. He'll cut his you-know-what off.
Yeah.
Because of what he did with Parsons last year.
When you got that kind of money, you can do that.
You got it, because you know why? I run Venezuela.
That's right.
Hey, Philly, what are you doing in the draft? What are the Eagles doing in the draft here?
It's too early to tell, but I'll say I have a feeling you're going to see defense more in free agency, and I think you're going to see offense early in the draft. I think you got to retool that offensive line. I would not be surprised if the Eagles go 2 out of the first 3 picks offensive linemen. So, you have Landon Dickerson contemplating retirement. Now we find out that Cam Jurgens, we knew his back was messed up. He's doing stem cells to try to get his back right. So you've got to reload on that offensive line, and I think you need to go there early and often. To be honest with you.
Hey, Mark, Cam Jurgens was down in Medellin with the Escobars, and he was working on his lower back down there, trying to get that back and rubbing that cocaine on his back.
I bet it felt good.
Say hello to my little friend.
Absolutely here. All right, here. Hey, Philly, I got a couple more here for you. Jeff Stoutland's departure. How does that impact the future offensive lines in Philadelphia?
I think that to me, bringing a guy back like Mekhi Becton now is like, it's not a sure thing, because I think when you have a guy like Stoutland, you can develop these guys. You kind of know what he likes. I think right now, we don't have that kind of guy to do that. So, it changes drastically what kind of chances you can take on certain offensive linemen, for sure.
Are you happy with Brian Schottenheimer, Mark?
I love him. I think he's a great coach, and I think he played the game the right way. He didn't hire Eberflus, and you can't go through and just cut the guy that Jerry and Stephen Jones did. he basically let him, hey, I'm going to see Eberflus and we're going to let him take care of this and, and so forth. Eberflus hung himself. And so that opened up the door for now. Okay, what are we going to do now? Because when you look at this press conference, I tell you what I'm more impressed about more than anything else is it's Brian Schottenheimer and it's Christian Parker. There's no Stephen Jones. There's no Jerry Jones. These two guys are the new face of the Dallas Cowboys. And it was Brian Schottenheimer and Christian Parker doing these interviews with all of these guys. Jerry sat in, of course, and things like that, but you can't think that Jerry Jones knew who Christian Parker was. This is Brian Schottenheimer. So sink or swim, at least he's getting the latitude, hopefully, to run this team on the field.
Two more here, guys. Philly, who's under more pressure in 26, Nick or the quarterback?
I think Nick. It just seems like certain decisions that were made at the end of last year, you had, 2 years ago, the collapse, then you win the Super Bowl, then you kind of have like almost like a miniature collapse this year. And I think that the addition of going with new offensive coaches, one coordinator who has never called plays right before, I think that puts the pressure, I think, more on the coach than the quarterback, to be honest with you. I mean, I think they both have pressure, but I think it falls on Nick.
Do you think the Dallas Cowboys, Mark, are in the best position that they've been in 2 years with draft commodities, getting players in, building the roster? Do you see them making the hiring of Schottenheimer? Looks like it was right.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to disagree with probably half the people watching. I personally agree. I think you got better moving Micah. I think you got more draft equity.
In the long run, we will.
I think you stopped the bleeding in the run defense.
Yes.
You got to address some more. I think you got better as a unit, not just having one marquee guy and having him out there get run over by Lane Johnson every single Sunday when they play.
Against Micah.
Better.
Yeah.
They're better now. Do you agree they're in a better position?
They can be. The big question still is Jerry Jones, okay? As I was pointing out to Philly.500, if you look at the Cowboys, basically the difference of what the Eagles do and the Cowboys do is the Cowboys end up putting the restructures, the triggers in there for their players. That's why Jalen Hurts is already at a $31 million cap hit this year versus Dak Prescott's a $73. The Cowboys will flip the trigger and get $31 million on it. The Cowboys can flip triggers to get cash if they want. Now, everybody's out here saying, you can't pay George Pickens. Well, we paid CeeDee Lamb with his new contract, $8.5 million the first year, $14 the second. You can do these things. If it were an ideal season, you get George Pickens done early, you end up kicking that money down the road, and you have that money in free agency because you can go out and get a Bradley Chubb or, maybe even you end up getting a Jalen Phillips on there that will definitely make you better and still have your 2 number 1 picks and have cash to be able to bring in some more people. That you can. If you want to bring in a Reed Blankenship, if you want to bring in a Kobe Dean, you could do that. The question is, will they? Will they be Howie-esque?
Why don't you just take our whole team out?
Okay. Why not? Why have you take your defense? You can keep your offense, so I don't want that trash.
Yeah. I know you want it. I know you want to be like the Eagles.
I'm trying to stick that knife in your back there, Philly.
You know you want to be like the Eagles.
Hey, what if they signed Jalen Phillips, Philly?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I don't know what to make of Jalen Phillips right now in terms of like, what do the Eagles really think of him? I haven't heard anything. Like, usually you kind of get like signs like the Eagles would really like to bring this guy back. It's been really quiet.
Can I tell you why?
Did give, yeah.
Okay. Well, he's represented by the same agent as Carter. Okay. So Rosenhaus represents Carter and Jalen Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're trying to keep the crap as quiet as possible, according to Robert Bailey, who works in an office. So they're not trying to like kick a lot of dust up. But the problem is that the Eagles are down on Jalen Phillips' production of a year ago, and they were down on him. Whereas the Eagles want Jalen Phillips back, and so does Vic. Vic wants him back. However, I got to tell you, I know Rosenhaus for over 40 years. This guy's going to go out there and he's going to sell him this weekend at the combines. And best offer, in my opinion, gets Jalen Phillips.
You want to hear an interesting little tad bit here?
Yeah, please.
If you believe in Pro Football Focus ratings, they got Jalen Phillips at a 74. Clowney, they actually have it at 79.5. Clowney actually had a really good season, considering that he didn't get signed until after the season started and came in out of shape with the 8.5 sacks and the amount of pressures. I think he ended up having 52 pressures. Just saying.
You know what? Sometimes with the numbers, though, Mark, I would say this. Sometimes a player is more valuable to a scheme than individual numbers. And when Phillips came to the Eagles, the secondary, Adoree Jackson got better.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, final question for you, Philly. What do you do with Hurts? Do you extend him?
Yeah, I mean, I would extend them within the next 2 years. I don't know if they need to necessarily extend them right now. I don't know what the numbers are.
There's no guaranteed money after this year.
Right, but like extending him now, how much cap space would that free up? Like it would depend on those kind of things. Otherwise, his cap number's $31 million this year. I could wait another year, but I mean, I think it's something that you most likely want to do. I would think, unless the Eagles are down on him, which I don't think they are, but we do hear reports that, rumors of they might take a quarterback, which would never surprise me when it comes to the Eagles. But I think within the next 2 years, but I don't know. I don't know what you get out of signing him early now. How much cap space do you get?
Let me sneak it in. Mark, do you think the Cowboys draft a quarterback?
I wouldn't. I think they might late in the rounds. I mean, we're not. If we're talking about
4, 5, 6, 7, like that.
I mean, you only have 2 first-round picks. You don't have a second and a third, so it would have to be a late round because you always end up wanting to bring somebody in. I don't necessarily think it'll be this year, but I think next year they're going to be starting to look hard at being serious about trying to get a quarterback.
What about you, Philly? You think the Eagles go like 2, 3, 4, 5? Where do you think they land?
I think they'll take a quarterback, but I don't think they're going to take a quarterback
in premium rounds
earlier than 5. Yeah, I mean, I think they'll take somebody to develop. I don't think they're going to. I think they got 2. I think they got to retool this offense, man. You need at least 2 offensive linemen. You need a tight end. I think you're going to see a heavy early offensive draft sprinkled in a couple defensive players. And then I think you're going to see free agency. I think you're going to see them spend money defense. But I do think they are after an elite pass rusher. I know it costs a lot of money. I know people like to say they can't afford it. And I'm not saying it'll work out money-wise, but I think they would like to do it because history over the last 2 years have shown that when an elite pass rusher has been around, they've made an effort to get him.
How about this here, Mark? NFC title game. Cowboys versus the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Oh, man.
I would love
just
that.
Book my ticket right now.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Book it.
I don't care where.
You know what?
I'll be at that game.
Ain't no way Dallas getting a new title game, though. I mean, it's just December comes. You know what happens in December.
So wait,
I showed you guys.
Would you put 11+ wins still on this Eagle team going into this year?
Yeah, I would. I
got 7 to 9 wins.
I actually think things are going in the right direction.
Oh,
to be quite honest with you, I listen. What do? And I talk about this. Hey, what is every Cowboy fan? What are they all crying about? Please trade AJ Brown. Please trade AJ Brown. Please have your offensive line be bad. Please keep the same coaches from a year ago. You know what? The Eagles right now are doing the things they have to do. It looks like AJ Brown's coming back. Looks like their offensive linemen are trying to get stem cells and get healthy. They know they got to fix their offensive line. They know they got to fix their offense. And the most important guy you have to sign right now, Jordan Davis. Got to get Jordan Davis extended.
Hey, Mark, he's getting embryo injections in his back. and I'm like,
hey, look, Peyton Manning, didn't he play like 2 more years with them things?
Remember, too, Christian McCaffrey went overseas and did something with his knee or something, right?
Manning couldn't turn his head. Right?
Yeah,
couldn't turn his head.
Quarterback, not offensive line, bro.
Hey, you know what Cam's doing, right? He's chasing them big booty Brazilians.
That's
what I'd be doing down there.
Well, he ain't holding up a block for more
boy.
than 2 seconds.
A block of what? Coke down in Medellin? I got Hey, guys, I appreciate you very much. Big day for you, Mark. You got yourself the next Mike Tomlin.
Maybe. We'll see. We will see.
Billy,
Mike Tomlin.
you got
Mike
yourself.
Tomlin. Then they're going to get Jalen Phillips, and it's the next, Michael Parsons. Here we go.
Bradley Chubb, man.
I
Bradley
You can have
appreciate
a Dory
guys.
Jackson. Thank you, man. Appreciate
Make sure
it.
you
Take a
guys
Dory
check out
Jackson.
these fabulous guys. I appreciate these men very much, man. Absolutely great stuff. All right, let me get back here and absolutely killing it, man. Yeah, he's down there chasing them big booty chicks. That's what he's doing. Heard it was Colombia. Those women are smoking too. Boy, they are. Ain't no way Jurgens is going to be any good when he comes back. What, they ruined him? Is that what you... Cam Jurgens is in Brazil. He's going to throw his back out. Women weaken knees. Yes, I heard it. That's Rocky, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Dak has always had players on offense. Z, throw that one up there, my friend. He just threw up there. I didn't. That super chat. You got to get that $10 super chat there. I forgot. Go ahead, big man. See if I can find it.